speaking of previous comic book movies, it is safe to say that probably the top 1, 2, or 3 most celebrated series of comic book movies ever are Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. I'm not a huge fan of The Dark Knight Rises, not a huge fan of it, but still, as an overall trilogy, it is one of the best ever. I mean, the Dark Knight and Batman Begins, I mean, as a back-to-back, I mean, those things are hard to top. A lot of people believe The Dark Knight might be the greatest comic book film ever made. Mm-hmm. One of the interesting things coming out of it, though, was Christian Bale saying, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going to do comic book movies anymore. And of course, we got him playing Gore the God Butcher now. I'm not going to play comic book movies anymore. Definitely not playing Batman anymore. But while doing press for Thor: Love and Thunder, the question got brought up again, could you play Batman again? And now he's singing a little bit of a different tune. This is what Christian Bale said. He said this, in talking about coming back. He said, no one's ever mentioned it to me. No one has brought it up, Bale said, when asked about reprising Batman. Occasionally, people say to me, oh, I hear you were approached and offered this. And I'm like, that's news to me. No one has ever said that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I had a pact with Chris Nolan, Bale said. We said, hey, look, let's make 3 films, if we're lucky enough to get to do that. And then let's walk away. Let's not linger too long. In my mind, it would be something if Christopher Nolan ever said to himself, you know what? I've got another story to tell. And if he wished to tell that story with me, I'd be in. So Christian Bale is now not only appearing in another comic book movie in Thor: Love and Thunder playing Gore the God Butcher, he's now saying, yes, I would come back to play Batman again. Which, of course, is creating joygasms across the fan universe right now. But there is that one big, giant asterisk. It would have to be Christopher Nolan. That's it. Like, nothing else, no Flash movie, no this, no that. I would do this if Christopher Nolan said, I've got a new story that I think is worth it, and you and me do it together, then he would do it. The question has to be asked then. Could that ever actually happen? Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, one of the big problems is that there are new Batmen now, right? We got Robert Pattinson, who just had an incredibly successful launch. The other big problem, of course, is that Warner Brothers and Christopher Nolan have had a little bit of a falling out in recent years. So, Rob, let me ask you these 2 questions. Number 1, what do you think of Christian Bale's words here? Because this is a big reversal on what he's said for years, that he would do it if Christopher Nolan said he would do it and had an idea for it. And then number 2, what do you think the actual realistic chances are that something like this could ever happen? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that the thing about this character and the thing about Christopher Nolan is that this character lends itself to many different kinds of stories, many different kinds of crime thrillers, and they've only mined a certain kind of story in Nolan's. Like, what if Nolan came up with the idea of a romantic Batman film, like, you know, bringing Selena Kyle, like something they haven't touched on. And I think that they've shown between what Zack Snyder did and what Matt Reeves have done, I think what Christian Bale is saying is quite good, if the story was there. If Christopher Nolan, like one day he's sipping on his morning Earl Grey tea and he comes up with the idea like, oh my God, I just came up with an amazing.
I cracked the code.
I got an amazing Batman movie. And he called up David Zaslav and he said, listen, if I needed you to swing the axe in the other direction to start something instead of destroy something, would you be interested? And I bet David Zaslav would say, let's hear it, pitch me the story. And if Christopher Nolan had the good story to make, and if he wanted to do it, I mean, because look, you know, he's made, since then, he's kind of gone off the reservation and he made Tenet and now he's making Oppenheimer. I think that he might have another story, another idea. Maybe that's why Christian Bale, maybe he's saying something. He's saying in the press something that they might begin negotiations. I don't know. But if there's a story to tell, I think Christian Bale's saying he'd come back. Why wouldn't he? It's just, does Christian Bale, he might say that, but can you get Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, that's the bigger question.
You have to have a story to tell. And like you pointed out, it's not like there's love lost there. I mean, Nolan was not happy about how Warner Brothers handled Tenet.
Although it is under new management now, right?
That's
that can help it.
That'd be Zaslav. I think that Nolan would have to call up and say, listen, I want to do this. But you look at those box office returns, who wouldn't want to get back in business with Christopher Nolan?
Well, see, but this raises another question, and here's an interesting one, because I think it's a little bit more nuanced than it might sound on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Would fans want another one? Now, hear me out here, because
That's a really good question.
Listen, as much as it feels like yesterday, it's been a while since those Batman films have come out, right? And we have kind of moved on. We've had, I thought, a fantastic Ben Affleck Batman.
It's been a decade since Dark Knight
Yeah,
Rises.
it's been a decade. We've now just had a very successful launch with Robert Pattinson's Batman. So the question becomes, and there has been some discussion amongst fans in the fan community of, is there Batman fatigue? Like, it seems like everything is Batman, 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 which to me is perfectly fine, but still. So the question becomes for me, would the fans want Christian Bale? And I think overwhelmingly people will say yes, but again, I think it's a little bit nuanced. Actually, guys, I just put up a poll. For those of you watching live, I just put up a poll in the live chat asking you guys that. Would you want to see Christian Bale return as Batman at this point, considering that they have kind of moved on? Would you be interested in seeing them go back to that? So I just posted this about a minute ago. We've got over 300 responses already. Only 57% of people are saying yes.
Wow.
Right now. Okay, we just crossed 500 votes. 57% of people are saying yes, they would want him back. 43% are saying no. And I don't think that's a referendum on people saying they didn't like the Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale Batman. It's just that those were awesome, some of the greatest of all time, but we've moved on. So I don't know. It's very, very interesting to see that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Christian Bale is now saying he would come back and play Batman again if, and only if, Christopher Nolan said he would come back and do another Batman too. What do you think of that? Would you like that? Do you think it could actually happen? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Masterclass. You guys know we love Masterclass around here and have been talking about them for a while. With over 100 classes from a wide range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. And you guys know one of my favorite classes on here is Bob Iger teaching business strategy and leadership. I go back and watch that like all the time. But also I recently discovered the new class on comedy by Steve Martin, where it includes comedy screenwriting as he does this great case study for one of my all-time favorite comedies, Roxanne. I've gotten more into screenwriting by taking a class from Aaron Sorkin himself. And of course, you guys know I'm a poker guy and I love my good Canadian kid, Daniel Negreanu. And I've been watching his stuff on poker strategy. It's absolutely fantastic. So guys, we highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every single masterclass. And as a John Campea Show viewer and listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. So go to masterclass.com/Campea. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.